You can get one of these if you move too much.
Okay, this is a one and done situation.
Oh no, you'll be back.
If you're good, we'll put you on payroll.
Go on a journey, folks.
Well, you got to put your headset on before we go there to infinity and beyond.
Do we have to explain what we're doing?
I think so.
Hey,
But we don't know what we're doing.
The Starship Enterprise is always going to places they say that no one's been before. So that's what we're doing today.
We're doing it today.
We're fixing to go.
Should I give
I'm
the
gonna
background?
have a counseling.
Si the other day, I'll just do the backdrop real quick before I introduce
set it up
our guest.
Before
we're at Si's house. It was me, Phillip McMillan, licensed counselor, and Si, Si was like, we need a counselor to come on and just talk about stuff. And maybe Si has a few questions.
Well, no.
And I was kind of like, well, Philip's been doing that for 30 years. He's like, not Philip. And immediately in my brain, I was like, well, there's Scar's mom.
Oh my gosh. I am Scar's mom.
Remember Zazu Carter?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was like,
she raised Scar.
My son was Scar.
Okay.
And I've known Emily for a while, and she's hilarious to me, even though she's not trying to be. And so I was like, I texted her, I said, Emily, Si needs a counselor. Are you in? And her immediate answer was no.
Immediate answer.
That was absolutely not.
Wait a minute. Now, hold it.
But I talked her into it.
Well,
so we have Dr. Emily Jones, PhD, LMFT-S, LPC-S.
That's right.
so what? Forget all that junk. What do you actually do for a living?
So I'm a counselor by trade. But
You're a psychiatrist, in other words.
no, that's actually illegal for me to say that. So just a counselor, no medicine.
Well, you got a PhD.
I do, but I'm a doctor, but not the kind that makes good money.
Ah,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But she's one of the smartest people I know, Si.
So I work at a nonprofit locally, and I'm a clinical director there. I teach online for a master's program in counseling, and then I do a little bit of private practice for myself.
oh wow.
Okay.
I told y'all I had an expert
Yeah,
in
lots
the world.
of branches. I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
She even has a website.
Diversifying income. I like that. We can talk about that too. Huh?
It's the only place I can find you, Emily.
Oh, here we
Well, my question is, do you have a battery of tests or questions that you ask a patient?
We do, yeah.
Well, good. Let's run through that.
I don't think we can do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't do that?
We can, I don't know.
She's
Actually,
an adult and so am I. We can do this.
I'm here today as a friend of the podcast that's counselor adjacent. I'm not here to be your counselor today. I didn't bring my instruments with me.
You have instruments?
Oh,
You know the test.
you have tools of the trade. don't you?
Tools of the trade. I didn't bring any of that with me today.
Man, I was
Oh, I
really
wish you
hoping
would've.
she had like a brain scan.
I was fixated.
I
Yeah.
don't have one of those,
like
no.
an EEG to put on him while we're doing this. That would have been awesome.
No, that would have been.
Yeah.
What?
Like some weird
No,
interrogation.
it may have been a
Wait,
flat. It may have been a flat line.
Yeah.
No, yours is definitely moving all over the place.
Yeah. I bet that we got to get the next one after Emily. I just had an idea. We've got to have Si take a polygraph
Oh, that's a good idea.
because I'd like to see those things jump all up and down on him.
Do you have any patients that went to Nam?
No, my dad was in Vietnam, though. He was a Marine and had pretty severe mental health issues afterwards.
Oh, no.
And
Yeah.
also drank a lot to self-medicate.
Well, no, because like most people say, well, was you in any heavy action? And I said, no. I said, but you don't understand.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a guy that won the Medal of Honor
Mm-hmm.
for his action in Vietnam. And he said, here, hold it. And I said, no, that's yours. And he said, no. He said, you served, right? And I said, yeah. I said, but no, that belongs to you
Yeah.
or what you did. And he said, no, it doesn't. Part of it belongs to you because you served. Well, he screwed my head up when he done that. Okay, because this man got shot like 5 times and saved numerous of his buddies, during combat action. But people don't understand that if you go to a foreign country and the foreign country, you're in war there, and all they want to do is kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it does something to your psyche.
It does. my dad's the reason I'm a counselor because I grew up with him and all of the things that he
Oh, no.
experienced from that, and
No.
I wanted to be helpful.
Well, somebody asked me, so, well, do you think you have any of the trauma involved with war? I said, probably. Probably I do, I imagine, because I don't even know.
Yeah.
Because the reason I say that, because on Veterans Day, okay, and they start running all these war movies, I'm watching a war movie and just bust out crying,
Yeah.
and I'm going, what is wrong with you?
Well, you had trauma, and y'all came home and just had to go back to life.
Well,
and
no,
do the
because
thing.
if somebody would have got in my face,
I know.
that would just be one of them, hey, that's something you don't do.
No.
Well, I'll tell you right now. So my son and John David's son are in the same grade, and Henry came home and told me that they were learning about hippies in their social studies.
Well, our kids are learning about hippies.
They're learning about hippies in their social studies class.
Oh boy.
I don't think you grill Carter quite hard.
And
enough.
Henry said, "Do
No.
you want to know what I said about that?" And I was like, "No,
Yes.
I don't want to.
I want to know.
Yes.
I want to know what Henry said.
Well, they started. All of his little friends apparently know all of his grandpa's stories about what his grandpa would say about hippies, and I was like, "Keep that down. Keep that quiet."
Yeah.
Well, hippies are.
Well,
hippies.
no, because that's what I look at today. Our young people, good grief,
There we go.
the stuff they can get into, especially if they got one of these stupid things
There it is.
out here.
There we go.
Emily's an expert in this.
Well, no, because
He hasn't said anything wrong yet. Keep going.
I was shocked to hear that our kids today spend like 80 hours a week
Oh, it's a lot.
on this.
Mhm.
80 hours a week.
And they asked
Wow.
a machine a bunch of questions.
Mhm.
And then it gets so bad that they kill themselves after they ask this stupid machine a question.
Yeah, it happens.
There.
And kids are getting exposed younger and younger.
Well, no, that's another thing. Oh,
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
we wanted Emily on, because you've been yelling about cell phones for a minute now.
well,
So far, Si's the person I agree with most in this room.
no.
Hold on.
Here's
That's
the
just 'cause
thing-
I haven't
here's
said
the
anything.
thing. The kids of today have got a lot of crap to wade through.
They do. That's true.
I'm serious.
I will say though, like a lot of what's going on though is kids are not connected in their home to their parents because parents are distracted by their cell
Hello.
phones or their jobs. Kids are not connected at school because, COVID, they got pulled from school for a few years.
And what you're saying there is isolation.
It is, and it's a lack of connection and modeling and relationship.
That's messing with your psyche.
It does. It has a huge impact.
Okay, is if you become so isolated, that's where like a guy goes berserk, starts shooting up people
Well, and kids don't
because
have,
he's got no one to talk to
yeah.
to tell him, hey, dude, whoa, your thinking is wrong on this.
Yeah, or they don't know how to talk to people. And that's a big thing too right now with AI. Kids are going on like Chat GPT, and actually AI gets smarter and learns how to talk to you. And so kids are struggling socially, but then connecting with AI and thinking that that's a real relationship. And that happens a lot.
a
That
lot.
hmm
literally scares the you-know-what out of me.
It's something to be very aware of.
Is that you would trust a stupid machine?
Well, when you're 10 years old and nobody teaches you how to monitor that for yourself or what to do on the internet, or you don't have maybe you have a hard home and you don't have
Yeah, but-
anybody to talk to.
I guess it's because they're missing common sense.
I would say so maybe, but also like I think a lot of it is there's not a lot of connection for kids. They don't know how to connect with other people. They don't know how to be in relationship with others. It's getting harder and harder for kids to do that. And adults, by the way. It's not just kids.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. And the other day I went and got on an airplane. I reached in my backpack, and what happened? I forgot my Raycon.
Oh,
I forgot them on the charger.
say it ain't so. You only got to charge them for 10 minutes because they got that quick charge feature and they're ready to go.
Which is what I did on my way out the door. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic is packed with upgrades. They got active noise cancellation and a comfortable design that stays put no matter what you're doing. Plus, the new colors are awesome. My favorite's the electric blue. Look, Raycon delivers the same premium audio quality as the big brands, but at half the price. And with over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee, there's zero reason to overpay.
That awareness mode is clutch too, because you can still hear what's going on around you.
Look, I love my Raycons. I know you will too. The Everyday Earbuds Classic are the perfect addition to everyday routine. Look, go to buyraycon.com/ to get 15% off. That's buyraycon.com/ Thanks, Raycon, for sponsoring our show. So I got a question.
I got lots of
I got
questions.
lots of them too. But Emma, what would you say your area of expertise? Yeah, is there like one that you're more?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if like in that, like biologist. That's what I am. I'm a trained biologist. So I was the nerd side of this thing.
You didn't finish.
Yeah, don't care. Look what happened.
She
to
wrote
me.
her paper. So.
That's good. I wrote. There's like 3/4 of mine.
Hey,
written.
as
I
big as
never.
you-
I never defended. It's
Hey,
written.
It's written.
It's just not defended. So expertise,
Yeah, back.
as we were
Parenting.
parenting. Oh, okay.
No,
All right. I like that because I got questions about twin boys that are drastically different.
Yeah. So, my expertise is mostly trauma-informed parenting and then marital counseling. So like attachment and trauma, all
Okay.
those things around there.
Okay. There you go.
I got lots of
That's
questions.
interesting.
How do you raise Carter? And can I just send him to your house?
Y'all
for
are
a
doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Keep doing what you do. Carter's a G, man.
He's a great
Yeah, ain't
kid.
doing nothing.
He's a great kid.
So if I were to come to you and say, perhaps, hypothetical situation here.
Because this isn't counseling.
Yeah, it gets it's just what just hypotheticals here. Like you go outside and you find your twin 3-year-old boys TTing on their dog. What that's not a learned behavior. What is this? What's that about? What could that possibly be about?
They're boys.
Okay. They are.
Rinse the dog off and just tell them to pee elsewhere in the yard.
Yeah.
If that's your problem,
No, it's only happened once, and
Well,
I mean, it might have happened yesterday.
they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure
what
out.
about his kid
Yeah.
that headbutt stuff?
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Like-
what?
Well, like
Like
the
metal
pole in the
poles?
honey hole, he acts like the pole was going to move
Did
or
it hurt?
something. It sounded like it.
What did he do after?
He cried and come to me.
I did not laugh immediately.
I love the
I-
answer you gave.
I waited a second.
When he asked you that, you said they're boys.
It was less of a headbutt and more of just a direct.
I bet he won't do that exact thing again.
Yeah, he's actually what's funny is he's the safe one. That's what's
Yeah,
funny.
you have to realize kids are like constantly, we get confused and think kids should know things. They are constantly learning from every experience they have. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of natural consequences that are built into headbutting a metal pole at a.
Well, he
retail store.
just ran face first into that one. I
No,
don't
he
know if that-
paused, looked at it, and headbutted.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't.
I know this because we heard it, but I got cameras, man.
you on my
You
Instagram now.
videoed this?
Oh,
Watch it.
It was
Of
on the
course.
security camera.
Watch this kid.
Boom.
Oh, bud. Oh, bless
I did not laugh
you.
until about now.
I laughed. Bop.
Did his brother tell him? It didn't look like he knew where he was running.
Yeah, it was.
I think he was looking down.
He wasn't paying attention.
He wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
See?
little eyes are looking down, and him and his brother were running at the same time. That wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
That's one thing that most parents,
He's fine.
most
That way-
We
parents
need a
say.
counselor to tell
No,
us what's
That's
up.
one thing when most parents say, tell me, oh, they ain't, don't even worry about it. They ain't paying attention.
He's fine.
That poor kid's had it rough though, because the next day his mama hit him right between the eyes with a football.
He'll catch you next time.
He was looking and then he wasn't, so she he was looking, so she threw it. He looked down about the time she let go and then looked back up. Boom! Right there. I was like, buddy, I mean, we're gonna have to get you a helmet. And you're the safe one. Like the big headed, clumsy one's the one that is reckless abandon through everything. So that was that's interesting. Yeah.
Like they're boys.
They're boys, yeah. Is there any reason they'd be drastically different?
You're twins?
Mm-hmm.
Very different.
Yeah, I think people get confused when they see twins. Are they identical?
No, they're fraternal.
Okay, well then they're totally different, separate sets.
Yeah.
They just came out at the same time, and so
Yeah,
Yeah. I used to think that everything was really like people say nature versus nurture.
Yeah,
and
that
I
argument shot.
Well, I used to really be like, it's all about nurture.
Yeah.
And like the more biology I learned, because that's not my background, the more I realized like it's a huge mix of both. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, DNA is strong.
it
I
is.
was
Yeah,
just fixing-
DNA is
That's,
powerful.
that's what I was thinking about. Okay, you
Yeah.
was talking about why they're different. It's DNA.
Yeah, DNA is powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them got a lot of me, one of them got a lot of his mama.
Yeah.
That's
There's-
so wild.
Yeah.
Did you ever learn about epigenetics?
Little
Your
bit, yeah.
biology class.
Yeah, a
that
little
was
bit.
something new that I learned too. Of like,
We're getting left
Yeah.
behind, buddy.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you hear that word those two just used?
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Genetics, I loved.
What did you just
I
say?
loved and hated those classes all at the
Epigenetics.
same time. But
What?
epigenetics. It's basically it's more of a newer, more emerging field and study of like DNA because everybody thinks. So, did you ever hear the word tabula rasa? You did.
No.
Come on, yeah, you did.
Tabula.
Okay, so
That sounds like something out of Jurassic Park, Emily.
So it's the idea that everybody comes out and it's a blank slate. So if I get a baby, it's all up to me how this baby turns out.
Oh, no way.
Blank slate, right?
Hello. Yeah.
Okay, well, epigenetics actually is a new field of study that shows that trauma and life experiences actually changes the way your DNA is expressed. And so think about whenever conception happens, what is passed onto a child to create them? DNA. So a child can have traumatic experiences expressed onto their DNA without ever having left the womb.
This is the smartest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
This is why we had.
Oh,
you
no,
here.
no, no.
I
Ain't that
just
why-
learned something.
You know
knew
why?
that, though.
You know why I know about this? Because I was drastically concerned why they were so different. So then I got into nerding out, and I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious!" Like that's crazy, right? Like they've even linked some of this stuff to just like even in men's sperm health.
Mhm.
Just you've got unhealthy sperm that make an egg.
Yep.
And so it leads to an unhealthy set of DNA. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's wild. Like it's wild what they're doing with that stuff now. What they figured out in genetics is it's a lot more than just ACGT in your DNA. Like
What?
there's a lot more shifts that happen.
Well, no,
You
no.
know that
'cause
one?
like
I don't
you
know that
said,
Okay.
okay.
Adenine
When
side
you
effect,
look at
like-
all this, when it comes together, it's insane.
It is.
Okay, because I look like when a woman's carrying a baby or two,
Or 3.
or 3 or 4, that's just mind blowing. Okay, that everything still works, and she's gained 20 pounds
Yeah,
right
it's a
here.
trip. So it's an experience.
We've never been
Hold on.
pregnant.
Yeah, I know.
That's why.
We hear-
That's why I see a lot of people
We
don't
hear kidney
understand.
stones are worse.
I always they know I love the women.
That was told to
I
us.
love
not-
'em.
That's
I'm
not
out.
our opinion.
Yeah.
That was a
by the way.
guess.
That was a guest who, yeah.
Because I always, moms are they're a hybrid.
A hybrid.
Yeah, they really are because they put up with crap that they not natural. Okay,
agree.
put up with the husband first, and then they have babies, and then
Her
put up
husband's
with-
delightful.
My husband is a delight.
He's one of the
So-
nicest people I've ever.
Well, yes, he gets counseled every day.
When I met her husband, I
Do you
said,
inadvertently counsel your husband?
The only
Like
time-
accidentally? Like you don't
because
even
you're
realize
refusing
it?
to counsel us today.
The only time it ever happened, we got in a fight in the car when I was in school, and I'm pretty reactive, and I sort of was like, okay. And I slowed down. I was like, well, tell me. And he was like, no. He was like, you will not therapize me. I was like, that's fair. And so, he would rather raging Emily than therapist Emily.
Yeah,
so
just go ahead and bite my head off. Get this
Yeah.
whatever this is going
Oh,
to
no.
be, but do not ask me how this makes
That's
me feel.
the only time. That's the only time. I learned my lesson from there.
Oh, that's funny.
So you got marriage and you got trauma,
And you've got raising kids.
Yeah,
Because
It all goes together.
Carter asked me when he can get a cell phone.
Mm.
And we get that question a lot in emails. Like, so what, in your professional opinion? My answer is never.
So I'll just, my professional opinion, the longer you can delay, the better. In my personal home, when Henry can drive, he will have a dumb cell phone. He does have a watch, like a smart watch that we program all the numbers into
Yeah,
for
you're
him to be able to call.
Are you the reason I have one of those watches?
Maybe. It's a good thing to have. But no, he already knows that. And they're already, he's surrounded by kids at church and extracurriculars in school that already have them. And he's just already made his peace with that's not going to be my story.
okay.
So
Interesting.
I think that's part of the problem, though. All these kids are getting together, and one kid's cool because he has a phone, and then you have to make your kid be like the one that doesn't. Hey, you're not that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I sort of told Henry, I'm like, our goal is to be set apart because, we're Christians. And so, our goal is to be set apart. So, consider this practice of being set apart and it being uncomfortable and unfun for you. And, sometimes you might get left out, and that's okay. But I'm also thankful that Like we have families that have similar views as we do. And other people have phones for different reasons. They may have family situations or work situations where that's needed. For our family, that's not something we need right now. And that's okay. And so,
Hey,
but
I
it's
can
not
dig
just it's not just a phone that's the problem. Like kids have iPads and tablets and laptops and all of those things.
We're almost 4 years, no iPad. Praise
Bravo,
God.
sir.
That's
Praise
great.
God.
My kids do have iPads. We
Yeah.
bought them last year. Henry is 11 and Hadley is 6. They had little Amazon Fire tablets. But we also have, again, I know too much for my job. And so, like, there's no internet access on it. It's all
Whatever y'all put on there.
whatever
is
we put
what's
on
there.
it. And they don't know our Wi-Fi password, so they can't get on. So if we go on a trip, we have to download all of their Disney movies before we get on the road if they're going to watch it. But we keep those in our bedroom. And, like, they don't have access to any of that in the house without us.
See,
near
parenting
them.
is work. And I think that's you
Yes.
like what you just said. That was you took a lot of extra steps there. And I think most people these days are just like, there,
Well,
get after it.
Because how old are you?
I'm 40.
You're 40?
Yeah.
You should know that. We're
You're-
friends.
I know, but you're younger than me.
He's 37.
36, man.
He's 36.
Give him 15 days.
My husband's 37. He just turned 30.
Yeah.
So, like,
Nicest guy on earth. by the way.
nicest guy. He really is. You'd like him. But
Well, it takes a minute because you're like, is he really this nice?
Oh, one
and
of those.
he is.
Like,
But-
are you up to something?
But
Like,
then,
so
like-
nice. Like, all right, where you gonna put the knife?
But he is.
Like,
No, but then it turns
I know.
out he's
There's
just
no
that
knife.
nice.
It's just a pat on the back.
hey, that's good.
But the reality is like we got these phones when we were growing up and now we're parenting. And like when we had these phones, it was a different situation.
All right, look, springtime is here. It's warming up. You know what that means? That means more outside cooking. And y'all know we love to eat beef around here. And that's because of our friends over at Tri-Tails Beef make such a good product, baby. Ain't it good?
It's so good. It's our friend Si Robertson would say, fire on the grill.
Look,
right,
before we
boys.
got Tri-Tails getting ready for a cookout, man, somebody had to run the grocery store, do all the things, grab whatever was left in case you were late in the day. And you never really know where that beef comes from. But with Tri-Tails Beef, we skip the grocery store and do it a different way. Tri-Tails comes from a family ranch out in Texas. They're a 5th generation American ranch. So they've been at it for a while now. Look, the beef comes straight from their ranch and other ranchers they work with who raise cattle the same way. Their steaks are properly aged and shipped straight from the ranch to your door. We threw a couple of ribeyes on the grill. Look, salt, pepper, garlic, hot fire, that's all you need. Look, because I tell you what, when the beef comes from people who raise cattle for a living, you can taste the difference. The tenderness and the flavor are fantastic. So if you're stocking the freezer for grilling season, go check out Tri-Tails Beef. I know in Si's case, Christine loves it, which is just she doesn't eat
she
meat.
ain't a big meat eater, folks.
Yeah. Just go to trybeef.com/
Duck.
that's trybeef.com/
Duck.
support ranch families and eat some dang good steak.
Because I've known, kids today, they call themselves furries.
Uh-oh.
What?
Damn, that was a weird segue.
Hunter.
Well, no, because I've been sitting here thinking about that because, where did that actually come from? Have they been abused? I know some of them have.
But I'll tell you this. I don't know. I'm not super well adept on that situation, but just for like your knowledge, I do think the draw to any kind of community like that is that typically those are kids that have been very, very hurt and they find a place that they belong. Everything for me that I've learned in counseling comes back to people are looking for a connection. And for me, like for us as Christians, like we know what that calling and that longing in their hearts are, right?
Yeah.
But that's what everybody's seeking. That's what everybody's after. And a lot of times kids that are struggling can find that community and can find that belonging in places that may not be the healthiest, but they belong somewhere. You know what I mean? And so like that's the draw. Is like kids want to
The
know.
isolation is over. I found
Yes.
my people.
Yes. Well, and the reality is for kids that are different, like, are they always accepted at school? Are they always accepted at church? And the reality is like, no, because we don't do well with people that are different from us. You know what I'm saying? And so like, if I can find my people over here,
That's so sad.
it is. And like, honestly,
we failed them.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
more than anything, it's sad, like to me, because I'm like, okay, so where have we missed the mark of making
Yeah.
sure that people feel known and connected
Yeah.
and loved for who they are, right? Because you can't draw people if you're not willing to go towards them. So
There's you a good line right there. That's a good one.
Preach.
That's a good one. Yeah, you done.
I go to her Bible class sometimes.
Yeah, now she's done
He
quit
always looks
meddling.
super uncomfortable. Do you want to talk about John David and life group?
No.
Absolutely, I do.
Well,
I'd
no,
love,
because
I'm hot.
with kids especially,
love to.
I always tell them, because I'll ask them sometimes, "Are you loved?"
Hmm.
And they'll look at me kind of funny, and I said, "I got a point to it. I'm gonna show you the point in a minute. Answer me. Do you think you're loved?" And if depending on what they say, I said, "Well, hey, I'm fixing to change that for you right now. I love you, and I don't even know you."
Hmm.
And I said, then I got another one. Jesus loves you more than I do.
And he
I
knows.
said, so hey, don't you ever go anywhere and say, "Oh, nobody loves me."
Because Uncle Si and Jesus.
I said, because
love
I
you.
told you I love you.
You can get a
And I
doll of
do.
each.
We should put that on a t-shirt.
And like right now, I got a shirt. Every time I'm in church, she comes and gives me a hug.
I love that.
Okay, and she's like 13, 14 years old, and this started when like she was 6.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, because they're walking around looking sad, and I'm looking and I'm thinking isolation. I said, "Well, hey, come here a minute. I'll stop all this isolation crap."
Man, this is the lowest my heart rate's ever been on this show.
Really? Because mine's.
Well, no,
I
no.
know. I figured that we were kind of like anti on each other. Yeah, you've got a calming presence about you.
Well, no, the
I can
thing about
She's been
the
very
podcast,
stressed about doing
No,
that.
I want
know,
this
she's a hot one
podcast
over here.
to do more than okay. I know I make people laugh, and I want that. Okay, because laughter is good. But I want you, if you're out there and you're hurting,
Hmm.
I want you to know that hey, somewhere there you can find help.
Would it surprise you, Emily, that the number one, arguably the number one email that we get is relationship advice
From us.
from us? Would that surprise you?
Yes.
Why?
Well,
Why?
hey,
Well,
no,
hold on. No, why?
no,
And also, no, because even just sitting here, I've listened a few times because I've heard that my husband has been talked about on this podcast once or twice. All good things.
Oh,
It had to be you. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know.
I don't
Well,
know the nicest
was
guy on earth.
I can't tell a lot of stories because, I leave out where and when and names sometimes because
Yeah.
I have been called to the principal's office before. But he is a principal.
Ah.
He was the guy whenever we had to do the camp out and I just went to bed.
Oh.
And he was on point with them kids. They weren't going nowhere. And so I was like, I can go to bed.
Super nice.
Super nice
Okay.
guy. I thought he was going to hurt some kids
Yeah,
that night.
it's-
And he had my support.
Both hands.
So he's got a good bluff
Yeah.
with the kid.
No, it's not a bluff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He means it.
But I think also why people probably come to y'all for a relationship, y'all are very candid with one another. And like that's the thing, is like most people aren't gonna be honest about
Well-
what it is that they're thinking or
well,
won't say what's true.
here's the thing about, and that's because of we're all Christians. If you know that I'm a sinner, and I've already told you, I mess up, and then I had to turn and walk and look up and say, yeah, Lord, it's me again. Yeah, I know. I done it again. I know. Well, if I've told you I'm already messed up,
Yeah,
well, you're not going to be surprised.
that's true.
And if, hey, I tell people all the time, don't depend on me. I'll always let you down.
What would you say if I told you one of our pieces of advice was body slam her?
That went viral.
I bet it did. Don't do that.
It worked.
It's frowned upon.
We have a couple that got married after that advice, Emily.
Well, no,
Heard a lot about
hey,
marriages
I
lately,
got. Hey, no,
He was afraid to ask her out. He asked us what
And
he should do.
she always kept picking on him at work. And Godwin
Said,
and
just turn around and body slam her.
he said, you just walk up to her and body slam her.
And he did it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
Onto
thing.
like a pallet of corn. What age group do you mostly see? Is there like, do you preteens, young adults, because marriage and like
Would
that
Si
kind of
be your
stuff,
oldest
or-
patient if we signed him up?
Well, I'm not going to answer that, but
Oh, yeah, you can't technically say
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
so
No, she can't say that legally.
Yeah.
So,
I'll answer that. So the place that I work at, we serve 0 to 21. But when you're serving kids, like in my opinion, a good children's counselor will work with the parents as well. And so typically, if you're working with a kid, you're working with the parents. So
Yeah.
I work with pretty much all ages.
I got you.
But I do enjoy, like, marriage counseling is one of my faves, and then I enjoy parenting and trauma. I do EMDR. Have you heard of that?
Who?
What?
Hunter's heard of it. EMDR.
Uh-uh.
NBR.
It's scary.
What do you mean?
It's so scary.
Have you had it done?
Yes.
Why? What is it? Why did it scare you?
Just
It changes a lot, doesn't it?
does.
Really quickly.
very quickly.
It's really cool. The first time I heard
it's
about it,
not
I was
cool.
like, that's not real.
Can we do it right now?
Hey,
No.
NBR, what does that stand for?
No.
Eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing.
What?
And so it's actually used a lot with veterans to process the trauma that they experienced in all situations. But, you know, kids that are abused and neglected. So there's like a statistic that says children in foster care have just as much trauma as combat veterans. And so EMDR can be used with kiddos as young as 6 years old if they're able to, all the way up to whatever age.
And you look at their eyeballs?
So you can do it with their eyes, or I use buzzers that you hold in your hands. It's all. Do you really want to know?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
Googling it.
Oh, yeah, I'm interested.
I'm about to go buy some buzzers.
I've got a buzzer. It says Gar.
Yeah, that's just a toy we
A
have.
fan sent it to us.
Eye movement
You
desensitization
should
and
just put EMDR on there. There's a little YouTube website. Have you heard of? But they have.
did you just make fun of me?
No, I was trying to say there's a little YouTube website, and then I was embarrassed that I said that.
That was
You
a
can
good
cut
one.
that, Hunter.
Oh, that's
Nope. Leave it, Hunter.
No, hey, any shot you
We've
take
got her
at him,
comfortable now. Now she's
any
taking-
shot
No.
you take at him is fair game, and me, by the way.
So
Don't worry about me.
basically, whenever you have trauma, like trauma gets stuck in your brain and in your body. And so EMDR uses something called bilateral stimulation, which means you're going from one side to another. So if you use eye movements, you would follow my hand. If you hold tappers, it'll buzz from side to side. You can tap on somebody's knees. You can do any of those things. And while you do that, you're focusing on a difficult memory along with the beliefs that came out of that difficult memory. And we work to reprocess it because your brain gets stuck between the right and left hemisphere. And that's why you have visceral reactions to different things that might happen. So say you heard a loud
Oh.
noise
Okay.
and there was somebody that was shot next to you a few
Okay.
years ago. And you're like, I know somebody wasn't shot, but why do I feel this way?
And that has been implanted in your brain,
Yeah.
and you can't get it out.
Because when your brain learns that you're not safe, it teaches your body how to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of people have big responses to things that we may think aren't that big of a deal, but they actually are. And so the first time I had EMDR done to me, personal story, not a therapy story, I walked into the room and could not speak about what had happened without falling on the ground and crying. And I walked out of the room after it was over and I was like, okay, that happened.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't erase memories. It doesn't do anything like that, but it just helps the traumatic memory move through your body in a constructive way to where you can handle it differently.
That's why that day that I watched that movie
Mhm.
and then burst into crying.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
My boss had to send me home after I had it done.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't go back to work afterwards.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was not a good time.
Yeah, it's tough and it can take a few sessions, but depending on how rough it is, but it's my favorite thing that I do.
Have I ever told Joe I'm glad that nothing like that's ever happened to me?
What?
Like it was weird because me and Brittany did counseling, and like one of the questions, and she was like, "Tell me about your childhood," and I was like, "Man, pretty friggin' normal." Like, I mean, with parents that stay together,
I get it.
like the family unit stayed together, like all these things, and so they were like, "Is there any?" And I'm like, "No, not really. I mean, other than having to run stadiums and crap like that.
She
I mean, I
said-
hate that."
Well,
But I mean, I'm saying life altering events.
abuse
Yes,
or-
I'm saying
yes.
life altering events that are so prevalent in today's world.
Yeah.
As divorce, all those things that happen to such a high rate of people that get them to different responses and different things. Like it was so normal. I was like, or what we define as normal, right? Like it was just kind of a,
Would you not say that being on reality TV was a
oh, that's weird.
abnormal situation?
Oh yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I was talking about
We're
when we
not
go through
normal.
No, I'm very well aware that my personality is very abnormal.
Well, no, I'm just saying even stuff like that, like things that we would equate as oh, that was a good thing and it
Yeah.
was fun. There can still be traumatic pieces to it. And
Oh,
so
absolutely.
What I tell everybody is stress is stress.
Yeah.
I had a cool little feature this morning on Rocket Money because it said, a large transaction was detected in your account.
Uh-oh.
Money coming in. It lets you know when it's coming in. It lets you know when it's going out. It is so convenient to have all of your money and finances right there in one simple app.
You'd be surprised at how subscriptions can sneak up on you. That's why Rocket Money is so helpful. Rocket Money users have saved over $880 million by canceling subscriptions they didn't need. Rocket Money pulls all my accounts into one dashboard, checking savings, loans, investments, so I can see the full picture all in one place. Look, it automatically sorts my transactions so I can see where my money's going and spot my spending habits. I can set a budget that actually works, and Rocket Money sends alerts for things like unusual spending activity.
They're going to keep you covered.
Look, and if you got a savings goal, you can set up automated savings in the app and let Rocket Money handle the rest. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/ that's rocketmoney.com/ one more time, rocketmoney.com/
You can help me in my poker game.
yeah.
No, I'm serious for the simple reason,
He's lost a lot of money.
All
playing
she's
poker.
doing when she's doing this with the patients,
Yeah.
What?
they give her tails. Either by the way their eyes are, the way their hand, they start.
Si wanting to know how to win.
Si about to hire Emily
no.
to go
This
help
is-
him
Sit behind me and tap on me when I should
No,
play.
hey, this is really
Whenever
fascinating,
McMillan's bluffing.
Okay, it
Nah.
really is.
Si, you keep playing trash, though, you're going to keep losing. That doesn't change.
This isn't.
That doesn't
She
change.
can't help your poker game, man.
Yeah.
No, because I've enjoyed this immensely.
No, I know. No, my life has been very abnormal from going, even, I'm saying the response of, there's a video out there got like 5 million views of when we found out we didn't have one baby like we were told the first time. And
That
there
was
was in fact
dramatic.
2 of them in there. I turned my phone off.
Hey, I'd have loved to have been there when he saw that other one stick his head up.
Oh, man. that was the wildest.
Because they're looking at one, and then he said, wait a minute, what's that?
I know enough about transducers. There shouldn't be 2 of them. And mine's strictly
Wait,
from fishing.
No.
No, we had no
Oh,
idea.
So
I love it.
your wife
Oh.
had the
No,
baby.
Oh, no.
It was on an
This was
Oh.
ultrasound.
Well, the way he said the other one popped out its head,
I
it
was
did
like,
sound like Brittany
no,
accidentally
they were
had
just
2 kids.
they were scanning, and
Hey.
then you go from one
Hey.
kid and like, why is there a mirror image
Hey,
over here? Like, what is
what
that?
it was, he was playing peekaboo with Dad.
Yeah, hi.
On the ultrasound.
On the ultrasound. Yeah, early on somewhat, but not the first appointment.
Okay, so like even that, like I think people think to do EMDR there has to be like some kind of crazy traumatic situation.
Yeah.
But, like stress is stress, and your body cannot distinguish. Like, oh, 2 babies, that's such a gift. I'm sure that was still stressful.
Oh, it still
right?
is to
And
this
so
day.
Even that kind of stuff are things that you can do EMDR
Oh,
around.
it
Like,
was more than stressful. It was a shock to the system.
Yeah,
old
I'd have
are you?
loved to have been wearing this little heart rate deal when that happened.
yeah.
I'd like to have
Whoa.
known what that spike was.
Martin was
Yeah.
not ready for twins, is the crux of the
I
whole
wouldn't have been
story.
either.
Well, not when you've been told you're gonna have twins your whole life, and you go the first one, they're like, "Nah, it's just one," and you walk out and you're like, "We beat it, we did it." Then you go back for that next one, and it's like, "Hello."
Oh, that is that would be rough.
Yeah, it's just well because my dad was a twin. Everybody in my whole family said, "You gonna fool around? You're the one's gonna have twins." And it was like I got to brag for like 4 weeks, like, "Ha ha, no, it wasn't us. We did it." And then here we are. I wouldn't change it for the world now. By the way,
Hunter's a twin.
Hunter's
Are you a twin? There should be like twin therapy.
What?
where they hit each other with bats.
Well, I mean,
Waylon and
that's
Jackson
got to be
already-
weird.
Waylon and
To
Jackson
have
already
another
did
one
that.
of you.
Not another one of you.
Yeah, but it's like another one of you. I would just think it would be weird if I had a brother that was or sister that was my exact same age.
Well,
I feel like I'd have issues.
there's 2 minutes difference between Jackson and Waylon.
I have issues, and my sister's 4 years older than me,
That may
and
come
so
from
does
something-
she.
That may come from something totally different,
Yeah.
though.
I don't know.
That's interesting. No, that's cool. Like that's that.
Well, when she said that she uses it with veterans, okay, that've been go through combat and all the stress that comes with it and everything. But she also do it with kids, and they are entirely different drama situations, so to speak.
Yeah, it's I don't know, kids' trauma is really hard. I think a lot of people are like, kids are okay. They're resilient. And they are resilient, but also they're totally out of control of their lives. And so when traumatic things happen to kids, like that's tough. And a lot of times they don't have the language or the brain development to be able to reason through some of the things that they've experienced. And so I do think that's why it's very important. Like even going back to what we talked about with kids on cell phones, the internet, things like that, they're not equipped to make good choices. And that's not a slight on children. It's the biological reality of their prefrontal cortex, which is the emotional and behavioral management center of the brain, is not fully developed until you are 25 years old.
Hunter,
See, I
you
went.
made it. He said, woo.
My son lived next door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's a vet. He was in combat. So he was talking to Phillip, my buddy, about he saw a homeless guy and he wanted to know how to help him. And that's what Phillip does with kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, he had an episode, one of his trauma episodes, and I literally had to help his wife. His mind shut his body off.
Absolutely. We call that
Okay.
speaking amygdala.
A what?
Oh, it's in there too.
Your
Amygdala.
Yeah, your amygdala is like the watchdog of the brain. So it's the thing that keeps you alive. And so if there is something that startles you, your startle
That
response
threatens
is
you. If it threatens you,
Yeah.
your mind will shut your body off where it can't harm.
It might, or
person.
it's fight, flight, or freeze are the typical responses whenever your amygdala is triggered.
What is yours, Martin?
See, his
It
was
depends.
freeze.
It depends on if I have a weapon or not. That weapon makes it a lot easier to fight.
For some reason, a dog chased me the other day when I was on a walk, and I kind of ran, but I also grabbed my headphones to hit it with it. So I guess I'm both.
I'd start with that size 13 on you.
Well,
Right,
it
before
came
I
out of
get the-
nowhere.
before I get them headphones, but
Came out of nowhere, so I jumped back, and then I just turned around.
You lead a very interesting life.
Thank you.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think so.
is
but-
freeze
Well-
relatively new in that response? Because
Oh, no.
in school it was always just fight or flight. But
It's
we didn't
fight-
really cover freeze a
It's
whole
fight,
lot.
flight, or freeze. And the newest one that they're talking about now is Fawn.
Fawn.
What's that?
Fawn is where, I just went to a training and they described it as a combination of all three, but it's like, how can I get you to love me instead of threaten me? So think about if a kid's getting bullied at school
Ah.
and they can't fight them, they can't run away because they go to that school and, freezing doesn't do anything. Well, maybe I'll become like the bully. Maybe I'll make jokes about myself so he won't make. So like that's an example of Fawn. It may not look exactly like that, but like whenever you
Okay.
try and adapt and like,
Ah.
love me, don't hurt me, love me.
I
Interesting.
feel like I just got described. Okay.
So you're a fawn.
Yeah. You're right, sir.
Oh no, that goes along with the isolation part
What happens when you dinner party fawn?
because
Yeah.
everybody, okay, kids, adult, everybody's searching and wants to be accepted.
100%.
What advice can we give the audience?
Can I interrupt real quick?
Uh-huh.
Will you text Allison and see if she can get my kids from school? If she can just hold them?
Nope. And that is staying in the episode.
Oh, and then I'll answer
Yeah,
your
look
question.
at that. Yeah, because apparently this one's going to take a minute if we're going to miss car pickup.
No, I
No, 'cause
Ah,
I
Ask
know
her to
people
grab 'em.
out there hurting, and I don't want to leave them hanging.
No, I appreciate that. I think number one is if you have a child at home, if you're a parent, what I would say to you that I've done in my own life is number one, you have to do your work. And so I know I'm a therapist, but I really do think that therapy is for everybody. I grew up in a 2-parent household. I was incredibly loved. It was a
Mhm.
Christian home.
Well,
And we still had our problems, right? Like
oh yeah,
there were
yeah,
still
disagreements.
yeah,
yelling.
well, mental health issues.
Yeah.
My dad was agoraphobic shut-in, and so that was weird. Dad didn't go outside. You know what I mean?
Between your siblings, same kind
Yes.
of deal. Okay,
And so even though I had all of those things going for me, the reality is like I'm still impacted by my childhood.
Oh, yeah.
And so I parent some of the same ways that maybe my parents did, which there are a lot of great ways I was parented, and they were still people. So there were some ways that I wanted to do things differently. But if you don't go do your work in counseling, it's going to be really hard to connect with the kid that ticks you off or triggers you or makes you mad or scares you or whatever that may be.
and this is for the kids. Hey, look, parents don't know it all.
No.
Okay, they had you, and they had no idea what to do.
Yeah. We all suck at it
Yeah.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
what
because we've never been.
No, but I'm just saying, hey, look,
Uh,
you're a kid, okay? Mom and dad are not know-it-alls.
yeah.
They are just like you. They were put in the moment, and hey, they're doing the best they can do with you.
Well, that's why it's so important to raise them biblically because then they know from an early age we're all flawed.
Yeah.
Then everybody's flaws look a little different. And,
Well, you look at your parents though, and you think they don't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
That's the belief you have as a
it's your
child.
superheroes,
Well, that's
right?
all you know.
Yeah.
You don't
Here's
know.
some of the most important things I saw as a kid with my parents. My dad never walked out that door, and every once in a while he'd forget it, get in the car, and Mom said, "Hey, you're forgetting something, dummy."
It's that tact.
He'd get out, come back, kiss her goodbye.
Term of endearment.
Dummy.
Well, hey, that's important.
It is.
That was important for me to know my dad and my mom loved each other more than anything else in this world, and they did the same for me.
You ever get home, you're starving, and you got something healthy in the pantry that you could cook?
And when you look in the refrigerator, you don't see nothing you want to cook.
Factor solves all that for us with chef-crafted meals delivered straight to your door so that you can hit nutrition goals without the grocery runs or cooking. Now, Factor makes it easy because you know that in 2 minutes or less, you can have something chef prepared.
And, hey, and you've got a bunch of choices.
And they're fresh, they're never frozen, and they're ready in just 2 minutes. Whether your goal is weight loss, overall nutrition, or more protein, Factor makes it easy to stay on track with your goals. And if you're prioritizing strength and workout recovery, Factor has you covered with their Muscle Pro collection. Every meal is packed with lean proteins, colorful vegetables, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. And you don't have to waste time checking labels because there are no refined sugars, artificial sweeteners, or refined seed oils. There are 100 rotating meals to choose from every week, including delicious options like Mediterranean and Asian-style dishes, so you never get tired of eating the same thing.
This is a new one I've never heard of right here on the app. Herb gravy grilled pork chop.
Yep,
It's a Yukon mash with green beans and sweet corn. It looks so good.
And the coolest part is you get to check shopping, prep, and cooking right off your list with Factor so that you have more time for everything that you love to do this spring. Look, head to factormeals.com/duck50off and use code duck50off to get 50% off and a free gift per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. That's factormeals.com/duck50off, code duck50off.
And so that's why, like, as the adult, a lot of people are like, these kids these days. Kids are really a lot of times product of the environment that they're in. So, like, do your work as an individual. If you're married, go to marriage counseling. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the sweetest things that you can do for your family. So do that. But then also with your kids, I think one of the saddest things, and I fall into this a lot too, is I'm so easily distracted. And it's the phone, it's the media.
Everything going on, the job, the kids, the husband.
And we're tired. And so intentional connection with your kids. Me and my husband's goal is, number one, to raise followers of Christ, but also kids that know that they have a place that they always belong, and it's with us. And so you may not belong anywhere else in the world, but you will always belong home with us. But to do that, you have to build a relationship and have connection.
Oh, man.
Well, that was fun. I'm glad I just brought Emily on here to prove that I have smart friends.
Oh,
nobody would have believed me.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd love to have you back anytime you want to come back.
She's welcome to come back anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Because this is one of those things that you're not going to cover it all.
Yeah.
It's a new thing.
She said she went to school like yesterday or something. Something you were talking about. You went back to some school.
Oh, that's the Fawn. Yeah, the fight flight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just a training.
Do you think they intentionally made it start with an F, so now it's 4 Fs? I mean, is that kind of where they went?
I don't think so. I don't think that was intentional.
Because, I mean, if you did like
lucky.
fight, flight, freeze, or mimic, I mean, it just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah,
I mean, you kind of got to.
Fortuitous.
And this
There's another
reminds me of, I couldn't tell you the verse, but David, talking to the Lord, said, "How wonderfully I'm made."
Do you know that one?
I do.
No.
What is it?
God put this together. Okay, and he built in it. It's part of the DNA in your body to do what we're talking about with freeze, flight, or fight.
Or fawn.
Martin's is going to be like.
But you got when
Poison.
you think about that, that's
fun.
That's like the Twilight Zone. All this stuff is going on, and you have no idea it is going on.
And that's what Emily does. She helps people realize what's going on.
That's why I said
Helps
she
them unpack.
leads a very interesting life.
And give them a healthier way to process what's
is.
going on when it's
I
going
hope
on.
Y'all's listeners, what's y'all's like demographic? Who listens to y'all?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, heavier female than you'd think.
Okay.
They're not all that big.
Oh wow,
That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke.
The problem with jokes is they all have shreds of
Oh,
truth in it.
gracious.
We're gonna let you leave.
They're laughing at that.
What are we gonna leave the audience with?
No, we have families that listen, kids that listen.
Yeah.
Surprising, there is a lot of old ladies that love us.
Yeah,
and we love you, old
But we
ladies.
do. I mean, according to when we go out in public, there's a lot of kids aged 8 to 15 that listen to us too, because their parents let them because they know it's a pretty safe
Yeah,
spot.
Henry-
Like
Henry asked me this morning, well, will I be able to listen to this podcast? And I was like, yes, you
Yeah.
can listen to this
yeah,
one.
we keep it safe for the.
We got him.
It's,
Like,
it's
we're-
mainly middle-aged males, by the way.
Mainly middle. But I
They just
hope-
don't say anything.
I hope it's the reality is like people will listen and hear, okay, Martin's been to counseling.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
I've said on this that I'm so glad that we're in a time. I've said this before. I know I have. That where counseling is in, where therapy is cool, where therapy is not like when I was growing up. When you heard of somebody go to therapy, that was almost shameful.
Mhm.
Like, why are they in therapy? Like, what are you doing,
Well,
you weirdo?
also
Like,
say,
you know,
in a lot of Christian cultures, it's still like not the thing.
yeah,
I've gotten a lot of flack from I help out with 5th grade boys, and they'll be like, I heard therapy's bad, and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, but
So that's just something I would say is like,
but it's
therapy is a good
cool
thing.
again. Like, I'm not saying it's cool, but it's not. There's not a stigma associated with therapy now, like there used to. A social stigma as
Right.
much.
well, and
like,
I
well,
tell
that's
people-
like the statement: a man don't cry.
yes.
well, you
That's
got
sheer stupidity and ignorance.
you got 4 of them in here that will.
Hey, if I'm hurting,
I've never
I'll
seen Hunter cry.
You ain't. Oh, you did
Hunter
you see
cry.
his socks?
Hunter did wear his therapy socks today. They say
Well,
anxious.
He's
and
anxious
sexy.
and sexy.
This is what I would say. You don't take your car to the mechanic when it breaks down. You take your car to the mechanic every 3 months to get your oil changed. Like you do normal maintenance.
Yeah.
And I think I want people to know like there doesn't have to be some huge crisis. There doesn't have to be some huge problem, but counseling can be a tool that the Lord uses in your life to bring healing that you didn't even know you needed. And it
Yeah.
can be used to draw you closer. If you're a believer, it can be used to draw you closer to the Father. And so, like, that's what I would encourage is like, if that's even something on your mind of like, should I go? John David today said, I probably should go. Then go. We'll talk after this. Go. And so,
Yeah, can you look? Whenever you've tried to therapy Sam and he wouldn't let you, therapy away. If you're ever like, this guy's an idiot,
that was unintentional.
you can
It was just the
you
open.
can do it on purpose.
Ethically, could you work with him?
No.
Okay.
And I would
You'd
not.
have to send him to somebody else.
I would send him to someone else.
Here's what I'm
Not
thinking
going
right
there.
now. Hey, if your life
I don't trust
sucks,
people.
See, I think that's something you could work through,
Yeah.
your trust issue.
You know,
I
if
just
your
don't
life
think
sucks,
If your life
Hold on,
Okay.
Si's talking to me.
you know, you're not happy with where you're at.
That's not true. I'm very happy.
Well, hey, go to someone and talk it out.
A profession.
Get help.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're miserable. You don't like what's going on. Are you just going to wallow in it and then let it finally defeat you?
Yeah.
Or you go, hey, it's okay that you need help.
I would even say if your life's good, go to counseling. Like it doesn't, you know.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Just go to
It
counseling.
don't have to be wrong.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong
Yeah.
with a
Find
tune-up.
a good one.
Yeah, and if you're a Christian, faith-based too, because there's all kinds of
Yeah.
different. There's different stuff. The ones that like me and Brittany with marriage stuff was faith-based counseling, because there are some that aren't necessarily faith-based, but that was important to us when choosing one that it was rooted in the Word. Like, let's start there, and then we'll work on whatever. But let's start in the Word and figure out, because the Word's pretty solid. It'll fix most of most issues that you're having can be found. The solution can be found in the Bible. somewhere. And then, if you got different responses you need to work through,
Any counselor you go to should respect your beliefs. That's what
Yeah.
I told John David coming on here today. I was like, it's my job. Whoever I sit with, like what they believe in is what I want to tend to. It's what I want to pay attention to. And so, yes, if you're a Christian, find that. If you're not a Christian, because I know y'all have people that probably aren't believers.
Maybe that's part of your problem.
Oh.
But find
Hey.
somebody
no.
who meets your values.
No, I'm serious. Well, it's like you told
That's
me.
that
Okay,
presentation
hey,
part again.
Hey, don't be disconnected and isolated.
Oh, find community. Community exists, and find a way to join the
Find
community.
a connection. Find your people.
Yeah.
They're out there. Okay. That way you're not isolated. That way you're not lonely.
Yep.
That way your life don't suck.
Presentation.
Get help and enjoy it. Life's too short not to enjoy it.
Man. Well,
We end with a Bible verse. Do you have one that you love?
You didn't prep me for that.
We never do. We just see how
no,
smart.
we like to rapid fire if there's one that's like
Right.
that.
But I do have one on speed dial.
Go ahead.
Psalm 139:14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. That's what Si was talking about earlier. So whatever you are out there, wherever you are, God made you, knitted you together, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And his works are wonderful, so you're wonderful. And if you don't think that, you might need to go find somebody like Emily who will help you get there and see what God has created, because it is amazing, and you're amazing.
And if you keep reading, you will find out that you are loved.
By Uncle Si and
Loved.
Jesus.
Loved.
Emily, thanks for being
That's
here.
an important knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
That way you're not isolated. That way you're not disconnected. It's an important statement when somebody tells you, 'cause like when I love it when somebody says, hey, you mind if I say a prayer for you? I said, are you kidding? You're going to take my name and say it in front of God Almighty himself?
Yeah.
I would love it if you would.
I always say, because I need the prayers and you need to
Hey,
practice.
you need to practice.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, there you go. Hey, that's a win-win for me and win-win for you.
It's a win-win-win-win-win.
But Emily, thank you
Yeah.
for coming on the
We're still
duck call
going?
room. Yeah, we're done.
No, we're done.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No,
we
this
don't went,
ended.
hey, we don't.
We're trying to. We take a minute. We don't know how it ends.
I think so. We went over a little bit.